Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you,
yeah.
do you really think, in your mind, honestly, honestly, that Singletary for Patterson is a fair deal, straight up?
I see the upside in both situations because Patterson's an injured old man that just got off the IR and he can get injured his next game back in. Singletary is on arguably the best offense on the NFL. So while it's a very like yin yang situation because you have this guy with like a bunch of upside but like all this risk, and that's Patterson. And then you have Singletary who has like almost no upside outside of like his the other running backs on his team getting injured, which could happen, but there's not like not a big chance of that. But he just has like this floor, like he's the top back in the committee, like he gets most of the work, and he has like a high floor. I mean, like he didn't do bad. He got like 10 points in our league. That's not bad. That's RB2 numbers or like a flex.
Yeah, that's not a fair trade. Sorry, man. Yeah, so like, I mean, I knew that. Put this way, dude. I tried whenever I traded with Travis. This is what I told him. Like when I offered him Christian Kirk, and the reason why I did that was that I need something that's going to have a chance to do well. Because in my opinion, Christian Kirk is just like Sutton, who's just like Pittman. They're all kind of in the same kind of muck.
Pittman's better.
Well, okay, yeah, but I'm just saying as far as how they're scoring, they're all kind of in that realm. So I had three of the same type of players. So I took the one that was scoring the most that could help him out the most, and offered him to Christian Kirk, right? Cast him Christian Kirk and I wanted Keenan Allen because Keenan Allen has a fantastic schedule at the end of the year, and he should be healed by then, and he's
He
connected
should
to a lot
be.
better. Yeah, right, and he's connected to a better quarterback than all those other three, right? And so I figured that was something that could at least help me because I needed something. I need something to have hope. And I sent it to him. I asked him through text, "Hey man, what did you think of that trade?" Whole day goes by. So I text him back again. I said, "Oh, I guess you didn't like the trade." He says, "Oh, I didn't even look at it." And then he comes back to me and he says, "Well, what I think is you're making a mistake because Keenan Allen hasn't done anything all year, and Christian Kirk is a pretty solid wide receiver." That's what he fucking told me. Instead
Yeah,
of
no,
like,
I remember Travis. He's the same guy that dropped Justin Jefferson after a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
games last year, and
yeah,
also helps you win a championship. He's no offense, but he's way too like I would not if I had stock options, I would not entrust my stock options with him because he's too like his decision making. Like the second he thinks he sees trend, he's like, I'm out. Like he doesn't
well,
steer the ship.
well, the
He
thing
doesn't
is
steer
that
the
okay,
course.
but with that idea, he should have saw that and said, "Oh, that's a mistake. I'm going to accept it." Instead, he comes back and tells me he wants to discuss with how much of a mistake I'm making.
He
And
just
I
wants to
said, "Well,"
talk shit.
well, no, he just was. That's just. I think that's just where he's at, and so I told him, I said, "Well, then make the trade, then, okay?" And he eventually, and it's funny because I asked Steve, my brother, about it. I said, "Is this a fair trade?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's definitely a fair." And so I went ahead and I sent it to Trav, and he told me, he says, Steven says, "Yeah, it's a fair trade because Kevin Allen ain't doing shit, and Christian Kirk is putting up solid numbers." And then finally asked Travis how he thinks. He tells me the same motherfucking thing, and then I tell him, "Okay, accept it." So when he accepts it, I didn't even have a chance to approve it because Steve approved it, my brother, co-commissioner. And that's something like any of the trades that I do, he approves. Okay, because we both have the ability to approve it. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. So whenever any trades I do, he does look at them. Then if he doesn't like him, he has the ability. He declines them or accepts. So but yeah, man. And then this last game, if you would have played Patterson instead of Damian Harris, who was ruled out, then he would have won his game. All right, yeah. So and so that's
But he
like it,
didn't.
and that's why I was telling you I'm not even sure if he's playing because he played somebody who's out, and he's
He's
usually
still he's
like,
still paying attention because he's still rejecting trades.
well, he ended up taking Patterson out and putting Patterson. So he,
There you
he ended up
go.
he ended up making changes, and he finally is using Kirk because he wasn't using Kirk. Even though he was on the bench and stuff. So yeah, yeah. But anyway, I don't regret the trade. It allowed me to get a kicker. What I needed for this week.
Yeah,
it all worked out.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but no, I was curious if you really thought that, because I was thinking that even if you got him to get the trade, then it wouldn't have worked. Oh, dude, you're pointing at me like it's time?
It's time.
Oh, oh, sorry, everybody. Yeah, we're talking about trades. Hey, all right. Welcome back. Welcome in. How about that? Yeah, now I know what those news people feel like.
Right.
No, seriously, I was clowning them all yesterday during the Astros parade. Channel 11 didn't have their stuff together, so they would switch and people would be like, just BSing, and then we're on the air. Well, that just happened. I can't judge you. All right, you found us. Shoot the Gap, the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Focus Show, here to help you to be gruntled with your fantasy football team and your fantasy football decisions. I am your humble host, Brian Go Baldwin, and it is my pleasure, it is my honor to introduce to you. See, I told you I have co-hosts. I told you I do. Connor the Gut Marshall, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian. Thank you for having me back. Theme song and all.
Oh yeah, you able to hear it now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I found out what I was doing wrong. Yeah, it's an old man thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you got it back. All right. Okay. All right. So, let's go get that. Okay, it's now the 136th show. Yeah, we've had 135 in November 8th in this hopeful year of our Lord, and we have a great show for you today. Today we'll be going over some news, going over to some waiver wire pickups for Week 10. Plus we'll be doing our shoot or cease fire for Thursday night game. So there's a lot to do. All right, so let's get started. Let's go and start with Monday Night Football, man. Let's go and start with that. I got stuff that I have written out. I mean, just first of all, you don't watch Baltimore Ravens, right? Is that the thing?
I don't watch what?
Baltimore Raven games.
No, if Mark Andrews isn't playing, no.
Yeah. So okay, so you didn't even see it. Yeah, Baltimore, they bounced into New Orleans and trounced Saints 7-. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead. So you didn't watch the game then, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, it'll just be me then. It's gonna be the Brian show. Look at me, I'm Brian. Yeah.
No, but I watched the stats. I know Drake got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He did really well. So the news is that if Gus Edwards is out, then Kenyon Drake should be in your lineup. But I did hear that or read today, reportedly, the head coach said that Edwards should be back on week 11. We'll see what happens there. And Isaiah Likely. I know that last week, whenever Andrews went out, I mean, he just went off. But this time he only had 1 reception for 24 yards, but that 1 reception, it was a touchdown. So you can't be too upset about that. Just New Orleans Saints, they are the worst matchup for tight ends right now. They shut down Zach Ertz, Hayden Hurst. They haven't really had that many, big time tight ends to really deal with. But yeah, they're handling their business there. Lamar Jackson, 22 receptions for 133 yards, 11 carries for 82 yards, and a touchdown. Yes. So since you're looking at the box scores and everything like that, you're seeing the trend of Lamar Jackson kind of. So are you worried? Are you concerned? If you're a Lamar Jackson manager, what do you do? Hold tight. What do you do?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Since I'm the Mark Andrews manager, I'm going to complain about, and I'm going to say that it's unfair that he's injured and it's bullshit and he should be playing right now. But anyways, not about that. Lamar Jackson is going to do better when Mark Andrews is back. You can bet on that. And Mark Andrews will be back because I got this ring from Mark Andrews. And if there's one thing I've learned in fantasy is you always trust Mark Andrews, because I got fucked when I didn't trust him. So you have to trust him.
Okay, you sound like you're getting a little emotional here.
I am emotional.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews is on my IR. That's not where we're supposed to be right now.
No. But I will tell you though that last week, whenever Mark Andrews went out, Lamar Jackson did still pass for 238 yards He passed for 2 touchdowns. So he ran for 43 yards. I mean, so he had a great game. So it's not connected to Andrew. Lamar isn't. So I'm asking you again, if you're a Lamar Jackson manager, okay, even
you're
if
holding. You're not trying to trade him. Who are you going to trade him for?
Well, I mean, you could try trading him for something. I mean,
you could trade him for Josh Allen, maybe, if you're trying to get him to tilt. But I'm a Josh Allen manager, and I'm not fucking trading him.
Yeah. Okay. Deshaun Jackson's debut was much ado about nothing. He had 2 targets for 1 reception for 16 yards. Then, in the second half, he exited the game with a pulled hamstring. So there you go. The trade. You didn't see this though, Connor. You probably would have liked this. That Roquan Smith, man, he looked really good in the run game for the Baltimore defense. So he really stopped it there. Kamara, as I'm about to talk about in a second, the reason why you're going to hear these numbers and like your eyes are going to pop a little because Smith did such a great job. It's just awesome watching a player like him track the running back and then hit the hole before the guy. It's really cool. On the Saints side, Chris Olave. He caught 6 of 9 targets for 71 yards and 4 more targets. Marquez Callaway, who was the second highest targeted wide receiver.
He's also the second oldest wide receiver in the league.
Marquez?
No, I'm joking. I'm thinking of Tre'Quan Smith. Okay. Callaway's a baby.
Oh, that's weird, man. I remember when Tre'Quan Smith was the young guy. That's weird.
Right?
Oh,
He's old.
Yeah, I haven't seen that long ago now. Kamara? Yeah, so Olave's a must. He's somebody.
He is. I feel stupid because I don't have him.
Yeah. My wife does. Yeah.
My wife.
And my wife, yeah. Alvin Kamara only rushed 9 times for 30 yards and had 3 catches for 32 yards on 4 targets. So, yeah, not exactly what you were seeing last week.
Damn, that's like 3 something a carry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty awful, especially without Ingram being there. Because I was always worrisome about, that if it's not Ingram, if Ingram's not there, then that means that it'd be fine, right?
How did Volders do?
Voldemort had 1 completion that he threw, not catch, that he threw for 13 yards. Okay, and he had 1 rush attempt for 6 yards.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can see what I'm telling you is that
I'm moving on to post-meta Voldemort commentary now, so I'm only going to refer to him as nicknames such as Volders, Voldy, or that Vold. But you're going to still know what I'm talking about.
So you're giving a nickname to the nickname. All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
We have to. We have to give the people what they want. We have to progress our brand and our narrative.
Yeah. Dwayne Washington, he was the actual backup for Kamara. It was 3 carries for 7 yards. So just a bad day on the ground.
Yeah, the Ravens. Yeah. So the Ravens defense is better now because they made that trade.
Yeah, they are. At least this week they were.
They needed that, bro.
Well, then that actually leads us to the next thing I wanted to talk to you about. So,
right on.
And I think it's kind of a cool thing, that there was some trades that were done. Okay.
Yeah, there were a lot of trades
at the trade deadline, and I figured out what I'd want to do is go ahead and revisit just some of them. Okay, not all of them. Okay, just some of them. We'll just hit some of the high points here, and also it'll give Connor a chance to give his opinion because, of course, y'all all heard my opinion. So it's just me. It's the Brian Show.
The people want to hear me pretty much not have an opinion on most things and then really care about 2 or 3 of these things. That's what the Gut's known for.
You know what's crazy is whenever you're recording and you have the door shut and you hear a noise outside the door and you're the only one home. That's such a weird feeling.
Scary.
Okay. Yeah, so we just talked about Roquan Smith. Sounds like it's good. TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings. He had 9 catches for 70 yards. Really, really good for his first week. Connor, what's your thoughts on the trade and his debut?
Well, this might be like an asshole-ish thing to say, but I think this is proof that, Irv Smith Jr. wasn't all that. Because, I mean, look, it's Hawkinson's first game in, and he makes, it's the whole narrative is, Christian Kirk, doesn't, he's not going to, feed a tight end consistently. I mean, Hawkinson did it in 1 game. I think it also proves the narrative that the Lions, as you said, were using him primarily as a blocker. you could say they were using him incorrectly. I very much so believe they were. Why the fuck do you draft a generational talent and then not use him? It's why the Lions are what the Lions are.
And the Falcons.
And no, but and the Falcons. And the Falcons. Because you have Kyle Pitts. So you think this every week. But
well.
The Lions are so dumb, Brian. They traded Hawkinson to a divisional opponent that is first in the league. And I know you understand probably the narrative of well, the Lions are rebuilding, but why would you strengthen a divisional opponent with a generational talent? It doesn't make sense. I don't think the Vikings are gonna ever look back. And if you're a Hawkinson owner, you're sitting pretty.
So are you saying I should be playing this right now while you're talking about the Bears or the Lions? I mean, at this point, right?
Yeah, the Lions are the new Bears.
Okay, here we go. So anytime we talk about the Lions, then. So they said with this trade though that Josh Reynolds was going to be a winner, and Jared Goff was a loser. Do you agree with that?
Well, Jared Goff is a loser, and Josh Reynolds can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
I should
know.
Man.
So we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. He was out.
No, we do know. The Lions suck. They fooled us. We thought they were good. Yeah. And they've sucked for a really long time, and we're in denial because we're already trying to believe a false truth that the Lions are good.
Do you agree with my assessment that in the Sniper episode, I mentioned that it would be a good idea to sell sell high on Amon-Ra St. Brown and also on DeAndre Swift? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay, cool. Because that's not what anybody... Like, no podcast is talking like that. Still now they're like, "Oh my God, I'm on Ross St. Brown, be incredible."
So subscribe and like because we're smarter guys. We're giving these locks. We're telling you, we're giving you the codes, man. We're giving you the red pill, the fancy truth.
Next one, Chase Claypool to the Chicago Bears
because I have him in both of my leagues and he did better. The usage was really exciting.
Yeah, 1 rush, 4 yards, 6 targets, 2 catches for 13 yards. So is Justin Fields' monster week, is that tied to the fact that this was the first week with Chase Claypool?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Pat Freiermuth. Yeah, I was reading a lot that the true winner of this whole thing on the Steelers side is Pat Freiermuth. The actual Mike Tomlin just came out today.
The actual, not the fake Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. He came out and he said that that they're not worried about how the passing is going to change. The passing approach is going to change now that Claypool's not going to be there because they're very confident with Freiermuth taking those middle, do what basically where Claypool was going as a receiver, they're going to be giving that to Freiermuth. So he's going to be getting it. He just said they're going to be giving him more targets. So Freiermuth sounds like he's going to be like a every week starter, no matter the matchup.
Yeah, I think he is. I also think you got to look at both Deontay Johnson and is it Pickett or Pickens? Because
I'm not going to help you. I'm going to let you just. I'm not gonna throw the lifeline. I'm gonna sit there.
That's Pickens. I know because Pickett's the quarterback. Yeah.
Yes. George. Good old George.
Good old George Pickens. I think George is gonna get them Pickens of the passes because Claypool's gone. And I also think that Najee's gonna get a couple. I think everyone is gonna benefit from there being one less mouth to feed. And I think you're right. Freiermuth's probably the main benefactor.
And Pickens. Yeah, because Pickens is the guy that. Even before the trade, who Pickett likes to throw to. So
no, but Deontay Johnson's still the whole. Deontay Johnson's a good wide receiver. He's too good. He's too good not to be serviceable.
Do you want me to pull up his numbers? I can pull up his numbers real quick.
I know his numbers. I have him. His floor is like 10. His floor is like 8 to 10 points. He's not a sexy option, but he's a contingency plan. He's like my 4th or 5th. He's my 5th wide receiver.
Yeah, his floor is 4, man. That's his floor.
He did that with Trubisky.
And then
Didn't he do that with Trubisky?
and his ceiling is 18. Yeah.
When did
that's
he get 4? Which week was 4 points?
week 4.
That was Trubisky.
And week 3 was week no yeah week week no actually week 4. Sorry, week 4 was 4, and then week 3 was 18. Yeah, then from that point on in our league that's juiced. He's done 12, 9, 11. So
Yeah, but that's my contingency option, and
it can only go up from there. It can only go up from there.
He's worth picking up. You're just being extra harsh.
No, I'm just being honest here because you got to look at the numbers. Now's the time that you start looking at trends and you stop looking at whatever the anchor thinking it was before the draft. And the anchor thinking was Deontay Johnson is going to do phenomenal. And so you can see he spurts up and down and stuff like that. So it can only get better for him. I guess that was my whole reason for that exercise. He's not doing what you were expecting him right now, but it can only really get better. So it's not. So you're right.
Well,
Everybody,
I never thought he was going to do great. You know that. I've never been the biggest fan.
Yeah. Jaylen Warren though, man. Jaylen Warren's was killing. It wasn't. Jeff Wilson Jr. to the Miami Dolphins. How about this one?
He does better than Raheem Mostert in his first game.
That's exactly what he's there for. He is there not to succeed and save your fantasy team. He's there to kill your fantasy team if you have Raheem Mostert. I mean, he is sticking a knife several times into Raheem Mostert because you had an RB1. Nice. I mean, before this trade, you had a just set it, forget it RB1. He was the man. He was the one doing everything. And now here comes Jeff Wilson Jr. First game, Connor. 9 attempts, 51 yards, 3 targets, 3 receptions, 21 yards, and a touchdown. That's all taken away from Raheem Mostert.
Who has him in our league? Doesn't
Raheem Mostert?
Doesn't Bombada have him?
No. Thankfully, mercifully, the person that has him is the one I'm going against this week, which is Super Mariota. Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. So I'm happy about.
Let me try to trade for it then, so you don't have to play against it, and I can use it against Bombada.
What? Jeff Wilson Jr. or Raheem Mostert?
Jeff, the one that did good.
Oh no! Bombada picked up Jeff.
No, that's what I was asking you. Oh,
really? No. I thought you were asking who had Raheem Mostert.
No, Jeff Wilson Jr. did better.
Okay. Yeah, he did. But I think they're both gonna eat into each other, where they're both are going to be at best running back. At best, each of them, and with Gus of high end running back. But that's probably where they're going to live. The last one, and this has no value at all in redraft at all. I'm just bringing this one up because you didn't get a chance, and I just was curious to get your opinion of Calvin Ridley to the Jags.
I'm kind of non-committal on it because it's just like, well, they're really taking a gamble.
What's the gamble?
Well, the gamble was that you would get it's a gamble bit because he gambled on games.
Oh, okay.
This gambit is either beneath you or beyond you. It beats me.
No, I was just curious.
I really tried. He was kind of good.
No, it was good. It was good. My mind was focused on like I'm sorry. It was my fault. I completely missed.
No, you're good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I try.
Yeah, but honestly, now that you got the joke in, what's your thoughts on it?
I think that the Jaguars will probably benefit from it next year.
Yeah, he's already put out he's excited about playing, for Jags and everything. And that was the big problem with him. If you remember, he had to take some time off to get himself right. And if he's out there texting these memes about him playing for the Jaguars, I think that means that his mind's right, and that suspension actually is kind of a blessing to help him get away, help him force him to miss something he loves, and also help him get to work on himself and make sure to get whatever's right. It sounds like the real victory here is him. It sounds like it's something that's improving his view of life and his view of thing that the Lord blessed him to do. So it's a good thing, I think, for Calvin Ridley. But I just want to get your opinion. Okay, let's go ahead and let's move on. Let's do some real quick Merry Early Christmas. Let's do some real quick Merry Early Christmas. All right, so you have Christmas music, right, Connor? That's your charge of the Christmas music this time, right? Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
no, you're
man.
not. You're totally. Look at it. Yeah, you were not on the ball. You're yeah. I mean, I looked over at you. I was like, right, and like I saw your computer wake up. Like, oh no, gotta serve your Christmas music. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, someone wasn't prepared. Yeah, look at that. Oh my. Yeah. But anyway. All right, so while he's doing that, let me just go ahead and explain real quick. Merry Early Christmas, okay? If you haven't watched this before, Merry Early Christmas. What this is that this is where I've always found that it's easier to hear bad news in a nice way. So what I'm going to do is say Merry Early Christmas to a person's to a player's manager, okay? And then I'll see if Connor can get him. He should. I didn't make these things too hard, okay? There's only 3 of them. You know, it shouldn't be too hard. Said. Yeah, and
well,
nice.
That's just lucky. I don't always get this, and that's great because we were able to skip the ads. I'm ready. I think most of the people here know what's going on. They fucking know what Merry Early Christmas is all about.
Well, yeah, but that was just my way of killing time for you.
Oh no, yeah, totally.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. That was me completely like making time for you. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
thank you.
And as soon as you get set up, you throw me under the bus. Awesome. All right, here we go. Now we're in the Christmas spirit. Let's do it.
That's what Christmas is all about. Giving shit is better than receiving shit.
Merry Early Christmas. Case Keenum manager.
No! What? No! What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yeah, no. I feel good about doing this one now. I feel good about doing this one. We gotta talk about it, Connor.
Fuck you, Brian. I don't.
We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about it.
Josh Allen. It's because of Josh Allen. Man, you're making.
And one of the last plays of Sunday's game,
I don't have
Buffalo
my vapes
Bills
on me. I want to go get a vape now. Fuck.
Quarterback Josh. Dude, we gotta talk about it. Josh Allen was the victim of a strip sack that injured his throwing arm. He was slinging the ball, though. He was slinging it fine after the injury, so there is a little hope. Reported yesterday, though.
He's going to play through it.
Allen is being evaluated for an elbow injury. Listen to that twisting. Yeah, evaluated for an elbow injury to his ulnar collateral ligament, as well as relative nerves, the ulnar. I guess they didn't want to put ulnar nerve. I don't know why. But anyway, this is the quote from from head coach Sean McDermott. We're just going through it, still evaluating it, and we'll see where it goes. I'll know more in the next 24 hours, and then probably be able to check in with the media back on Wednesday. So tomorrow you'll have a better idea.
That's not committal as fuck. That's not committing to anything. That's like the vaguest, most East Coast way of saying I'll tell you. Like I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay, this last part, Connor, earmuffs, all right, earmuffs. All right, I saw a report from a doctor specifically talking about this injury, and he said that reports are that the tissue around the ulnar nerve, which is the funny bone, was tore and causing the nerve to be pinched by the elbow, which is very painful. So think something akin to carpal tunnel, because that's actually the nerve that's bothered on a carpal tunnel. All right, so that it goes all the way down the whole arm, and it's pinching right at the elbow, causing pain through the whole thing, right? And so he had a similar injury about almost exactly 4 years ago, and he missed a month, right? The doctor I watched said that he expects at least 2 to 4 weeks out, if not longer. Okay, if Allen is okay, you can take him off now. If Allen is unable to play this weekend, Case Keenum would be in line for the start at quarterback. This also downgrades Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. So we got through it. We'll move on. Merry Early Christmas.
Do you like rubbing salt in my fantasy wounds?
Dude, I am really reporting. Do. I am reporting what's going on, and no, I don't enjoy doing that. Okay, I'm reporting what's happening. And I just told everything that I researched. I just told him. It's unfortunate. It's in this situation, but dude, that's what's kind of cool about this show. You're actually able to hear Connor, who's a Josh Allen manager.
I just made a trade in my auction league, and I want to talk about it.
Okay, well, let's finish Merry Early
I
Christmas.
just traded Jonathan Taylor for Michael Pittman Jr. straight up.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I think you're actually, that was actually, I think it's going to be a lost season for Jonathan Taylor.
I
And-
do too. His ankle's fucked,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, and they're going to shut him down because I think that this is the thing that we'll talk about it in a second. We'll talk about the Colts in a second. Merry Early Christmas, DJ Moore managers. Do you want to give it a shot?
Baker Mayfield was back in.
Yeah, almost. Last Sunday,
It's
Carolina.
Christian McCaffrey.
No, you're more on the track. You just had it flipped. Last Sunday, Carolina quarterback PJ Walker was replaced at halftime by Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield, right? And
Yeah.
who proceeded to ignore the talented wide receiver. It was announced yesterday that PJ Walker will start versus Atlanta on Thursday, and he hyper targets DJ Moore. Keep in mind that last Sunday they played against an angry Cincinnati defense, and Thursday they'll be playing against the clawless Falcons. Okay, so Merry Early Christmas, DJ Moore, man.
The age-old question: will the Panther eat the Falcon?
Hey, yeah, I guess we'll find out.
It's a matchup
Yeah.
we see in nature all the time.
There was the one podcast I was listening to where there was actually one of the hosts was astonished about the size of a panther, at least the weight of the panther. They seem to have like equated like weight and size as the same, because the weight of a normal panther of a
Well, like
average
800 pounds.
No, it's like supposedly like some of them are like 150, 150, 150.
They were surprised that it was that low.
Yeah, which I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if you see
I think
panther,
the reason is because you hear panther and you think like lions and tigers, and
Yeah.
I think those are like about 800, but I think panthers are like okay.
yeah. But yeah, no, so
Good for panthers. They're keeping slim.
yeah, well, there you go, dude. Yeah, they're eating
Yeah.
right. Get that kale in. Yeah, last
And
game.
that falcon in, man.
Oh,
That's
there we
what- that's
go.
what they're gonna do.
We'll see. Yeah, last one. Merry Early Christmas. This one might be the hard one. It will be the hard one for you. Cooper Cup manager.
Van Jefferson and Sean McVay did a Barstool interview, so that positively impacts Cooper Kupp. And he was injured a couple weeks ago, and he did fine. He still is the only target on his team. And I have Allen Robinson, and he isn't really doing that good.
After posting 127 yards and a TD last Sunday, seems that the wide receiver didn't feel any ill effects from the ankle sprain. And now they are playing Arizona, and this is why they're getting the gift, who lost their best safety, Buda Baker, for 2 to 3 weeks due to a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Yeah. so that's
I'm
why
3 for 3. I totally got everything correct.
you did not say anything about Buda Baker. You just said, "Oh, I knew that."
Fuck you, Brian. You're doing players on other teams now.
No, dude. Well, it's the reason for the gift. It's the reason for the gift.
You're
all right?
getting tongue in cheek, you bastard. Is that all 3?
Yeah, that's all 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really funny actually because of the music I have picked. It's so like ironic.
Good. You're all scrooging out of it. All right. Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get into some news.
No news is good news. No news is good news. You ain't got any blues if you ain't got any news. Ha!
Okay. All right, let's start with let's talk about the sniper episode I did yesterday. All right. The Indianapolis Colts have fired head coach Frank Wright after guiding the team to a 3-5-1 record that's good enough to have them sitting at second in the AFC South. He leaves with a record of 40-33-1 after 4.5 seasons. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Frank Reich really puts the guided and misguided, which is what he did with the team this season, and hopefully they can do better.
Yeah. It was just a week ago. Yeah, that NFL Ian Rappaport reported that Reich's job was quote unquote safe, according to multiple sources. And I wanted to take this moment, just like I did.
More like crap report, because that's what
Yes.
his news is.
That's exactly how, just like it did in the sniper episode.
I watched the
wanted to take this
sniper
moment.
episode. I watched it
Okay.
while I was taking a dump.
Good.
I was-
okay, well,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, but point is, okay. Sorry about the music being a little loud. I didn't mean for it to be a little loud. Sorry about that, everybody.
No, that was
Yeah.
good. We don't always. You know what? Do it again. Do it again. Why don't you? People love the GNUs.
Oh,
That's like the highlight of the show.
I'm not doing it again. Okay, hang on. All right, so you should always proof anything you hear from rapper. The moves of Crown as you know about this Sam. Here's the thing. He's being blamed for Sam Ellinger, okay, and of course he fired offensive coordinator Marcus Brady, right? The thing that at the time, okay, at the time of the recording of the Sniper episode, the team had not announced Reich's replacement, which you already know who it is. Who is it, Connor?
The offensive coordinator.
No. For that's worse. Yeah, you don't. Do you know who it is?
No.
It's Jeff Saturday, the former O-line and ESPN analyst. That's the new head coach for for the Colts. All right. So I still feel the concern that I've been hearing throughout the the fantasy community is that this shows that the Colts are getting ready to tank, and so that's why they're doing what they're doing. Because right now, dude, there's not one coach on that coaching staff that's ever called any plays from the sidelines in real NFL games, and they're literally being thrown into the fire. But reported today, the Colts have named their 30-year-old pass game specialist, assistant QB coach Parks Frazier. Okay, instead of Frazier Parks Frazier. He's expected to do the play call. So, tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me your thoughts, and I'll tell you mine.
Colts fans, on behalf of all of Houston, suck it. I think that they should tank.
Dude, that's so bad for the Texans. You're being so anti-Texan with this take.
The Colts tanking?
Yes.
What do you mean? Why is that bad for the Texans?
Because you want the Texans to get the first pick so they can get Bryce Young, man.
Yeah, we're already ahead of them, baby. We're still going to do better than them. We have less talent. Look,
but you're telling them to tank.
I'll take your Matt Ryan, and I'll raise you David Mills.
Okay, here's the thing, dude. Okay, is that the Texans, they're trying to win games. Okay, they're trying to see what they got to see what they can build on.
Don't politicize me talking shit to the Colts.
I'm just saying they're not tanking. They're not tanking. All right, they're not tanking. They're just losing because, like you said, lack of talent, right? But not because of lack of trying. Well, these guys, they have a lot more talent. The Colts do, but now it looks like that they're cutting down the talent, like on coach. So it looks like he said, like, you want them to tank. I don't think you want them to do that. You don't want them to do that. Okay, you want them to fight. I think it's my feeling, okay, that I still think it's a great idea to go by Pittman. All right, I don't see how, like what Connor said, the first statement out of his mouth was exactly who's going to change what the rhetoric is, right? Which is Colts fans. Okay, Colts fans are not going to like to see this, man. Okay, there's going to be a chance. I mean, it only takes like about 2 to 4 weeks at the most for that ACL strain to heal. I'm sure that Matt Ryan is almost there. If he's not, he's almost back. As soon as he's healed, I'm sure he's going back in. Jeff Saturday is not going to go in there just to lose games. That's just not what he's going to do. Even though he was shocked. Reportedly, he was shocked at the hiring. So right now, I think the way that we should all approach it is it's Schrodinger's cat. Okay? It can be either really good or really bad. We won't know until we open up that box. Okay, so don't freak out. Don't freak out. And I think that what your trade was a good trade on that league for Pittman because, yeah, if they are truly like in the situation like Connor's talking about, then Taylor's going to be put on the shelf sooner than. So yeah, and then at least you have a playable person in Pittman because they're going to have to throw the ball, and so he will get target. He is the target leader on the team. Anything more you want to say about that, Connor?
Selah.
Green Bay running back Aaron Jones received negative X-rays results Monday and quote-unquote should be able to play this week, according to a source familiar with the situation. So the news comes as a relief, actually, to the Packers because they actually had Romeo Doubs, who has a high ankle sprain and expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, and Christian Watson, who's concussed and is in the protocol, right? So he's out right now, and this is his second concussion. Like, I mean, he got concussed, then he came back, and his first play he got concussed again. So it don't look like he's going to be rushed back, you know. So they really need to hear some good news, and this is their good news. It's really too early to say whether Jones will return to action Week 10 against the Cowboys, but it's encouraging. You know, if he's not, let me ask you, Connor, in the state of Green Bay, is their offense stinks, right?
Mm-hmm. They're bad.
Okay, so let's say if Jones is out, Jones is out, AJ Dillon is always like the high handcuff. Is he somebody that you can play with confidence, or what do you look at with AJ Dillon?
I don't think
Aaron
it's
Jones
confidence as much as it is schmonfidence, but I think it's something. I mean, you know, the Packers, their offense, I don't think you can be confident in any of the options. I think AJ Dillon is a back end RB2, fringe RB3, but he is a solid flex play. He is a flex play. Ah, God. This...
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize I had it turned all the way up to the no good news. Sorry, man. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
Yeah. We're talking Green Bay. And, you know, Green Bay's, you know, it's kind of, this is kind of Green Bay music now, too. You know, I'm glad you noticed that, because I know you were trying to find a pivot for Rodgers, or for Allen, and you went to Rodgers. I'm glad you kind of. But let's go ahead and talk about some good news. Let's move into some good news. Come on. Cleveland Brown tight end David Njoku said that he plans to play on Sunday, 2 weeks after suffering a high ankle sprain. Now, this is reportedly coming from Njoku himself, who, if you remember, after Week 7's game, was on crutches in a walking boot and said that he was confident he was playing the next week. You know, players always want to play. So,
I like
Connor,
him.
Yeah, Connor, you are a Njoku manager. You desperately need Njoku before the injury. So, what's your thoughts?
Njoku's the Joker. He likes to say he's gonna play. He's probably gonna get a limited session in on Wednesday, and then he's gonna get another limited session in on Thursday, and then another one on Friday, and then he's gonna be listed as questionable up until the very end, and he's not gonna play. I'm already betting on Cole Kmet as my contingency plan, but I will if Njoku starts, if he gets full practices in at least Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna start him with full confidence.
Okay. I would not. Definitely not. Yeah.
You would start Cole Kmet over him?
Yeah. Mainly because, dude, this is 2 weeks from a high ankle sprain, right? And a high ankle sprain, something that's makes me really nervous. That me specifically. Okay, I won't fault you for playing him. Okay, I won't say like that's a bad idea. I'm just saying my opinion is to not play him, because you want to see how he's going to do, and you don't want to play a player like for the first game back from an injury. Like, look what happened with you and Mark Andrews, right? Mark Andrews was injured all week long. Then he was cleared to play, so you played him. He got knocked out. You know, it was a different injury, but still, he got knocked out the first quarter, like that. He might have gotten hurt because he was trying to favor his knee, so he landed. You know, so I mean that's stuff that can happen, and so I would just go ahead and just look and see if you can handle it. I think Cole Kmet's a very good pivot option. You know, so if you have that, you know, I would rather do that than take a chance on Njoku just in case something bad happens. You know, you're already in a bad spot. You know, don't make it. But I don't fault you. Starting, fault you. Wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. expected to be quote unquote fully cleared to practice by the end of the week, according to Jay Glazer. So that means that that's something that's a person you can trust, Jay Glazer. With Beckham's rehab, okay, from the torn ACL he suffered in the Rams' February 13th Super Bowl win over the Bengals, nearly behind him, the 30-year-old receiver is expected to soon turn his focus to signing with the team. Teams that are being mentioned, Connor, are, go for it, you know?
Rams, Bills, Cowboys, I think
two more.
Packers.
Yeah. Yeah, excuse me, that was 3 more. Now 2 more.
2 more. Saints, I want to say.
No. Good guess, though.
Yeah, I know he said he wanted to play. The Giants aren't one of them, are they?
Yeah, Giants.
The Giants.
Giants. And the last one, I don't buy. I don't buy at all. So let me just not even.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Really?
The Chiefs supposedly.
I
don't
think
buy.
that would, yeah, I don't buy that one either.
No, I just think that the Chiefs are like that team that everybody throws out because it's easy to do. So
I would actually, I'll be dead ass. My favorite one to see would be the Giants because I'm not a big fan of New York, but I like the Giants because I remember the Giants beating the Patriots. I remember the helmet catch Super Bowl. So the Giants are actually, and the Giants uniforms look cool. And I like Saquon Barkley. I'm glad that he's like come back. So I wouldn't mind seeing them like win it all.
And the irony of
Odell coming back to it would be beautiful. It'd be a storybook ending.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so I think that I mean, yeah, you're right about that. Jerry Jones has already like made a comment like, "Oh, that star would look good on a helmet on him," and he's batting eyes at him, but it's all about money with that guy. The last bit we don't even need to talk to. I just want to mention it because I just think it's funny that Giants safety Xavier McKinney has been placed on the reserved NFI list due to injuring his hand in an ATV accident over the team's bye week. I just wanted to go and mention that.
He was having fun doing red.
Shit. But it's supposedly in his contract. He's not supposed to be on anything like, so
he has a history of doing redneck shit.
Well, I think that's just on any like athlete's contract. You can't be doing dangerous stuff like that. Skydiving, you can't be doing that. So I think that's bungee jumping. They don't want their athletes that they're paying millions of dollars to doing stuff like that. So but anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. Any more bits of news that I might have missed that you might want to talk about?
No.
All right, let's move on quickly to the Thursday night shoot or cease fire. Do you want to do your announcer voice? Do you want me to take?
Typically we do a word from our sponsor before we do the shoot or cease fire.
Oh, thank you.
And
Look at you.
Thank you. I have the clip pulled up. We're gonna go to it right now.
High Volume Music Radio, the pride of Sunnyside, with shows like Rock and Roll Radio, Bring Back the A-Track, The Brown Sugar Express, and Blame It on the Boogie with Aunt Boogie. Log in now at highvolumeradio.com, and remember, if it ain't high volume, it ain't loud enough.
Now back to Shoot the Gap with your host, Brian, the Amigo Baldwin.
And we're back.
I do want to let you know, man, that doctor that I listened to about the Josh Allen injury, I mean, he's been wrong on some things too. I mean, so he kind of goes off the shelf a little bit. So hopefully,
I really hope that he's so wrong that it's not even funny.
Yeah,
that's how wrong I hope he is.
Yeah, Thursday nights, shooter cease fire. Okay, now that you got us on pace, we're right with the ones that support us. Okay.
Yes.
You want me to go and take it? Yeah, you want to do it? Yes,
sir.
Atlanta Falcons Atlanta Falcons at Carolina Panthers. It's going to be forecasted. Check this out, Connor. 63 degrees, 97% chance of rain, 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. The over-under is 44. Atlanta is favored by 3. So, let's talk about this. Because
well, let me ask you this. Are the Panthers have a good run defense?
Do they?
I'm asking you. I feel like you would know more than me.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. And the reason why I say that is because it looks like resemble that it's going to be a sloppy, muddy game.
No, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Panthers just don't have a good defense, but I don't know if that's not the case.
Well, the thing is that rain's the equalizer. That's why I'm like, that's why like when you're asking me what you're asking me, it's
because the Falcons are a good run team. So if the Panthers, theoretically, are like below average against the run, I feel like this is a formula for multiple Falcons running backs to be serviceable, not even just Patterson. I think you could see Algier or even the other guy, Hunt or whatever his name is. Is it Huntley or is it something
Caleb
else?
Huntley. Yeah.
Yeah, Huntley. Yeah.
No, 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 no. No Huntley. No, no, no.
You
No,
don't,
no,
you,
no.
you don't think
No.
he could?
Stop. I don't know what you went to go do during the commercial. Okay, you went off camera, but it looked like crack. Okay, if it sounds like it's crack, because
I would have way more energy if I was smoking crack.
okay. I'm just saying that I could see the Algier thing. I could definitely see the Patterson, but I would not do Huntley.
I can see Mariota getting some runs. Okay, no, you're right. Not Huntley, but Mariota could get some runs too.
Yeah. If the weather holds like as it is, that changes everything in my opinion. Like just 2 weeks ago, Carolina, whenever Carolina played Atlanta, Kyle Pitts got 5 receptions from 9 targets, 80 yards, and a touchdown. It was his best game all season. All right, so it'd be real easy to say, hey, you know what? That was 2 weeks ago. Just put him in. It's against the same defense. 1 and 1 equals 2, right? But if it's raining like it is, Mariota is not an accurate passer in a dome. Okay, so he's not going to be. Think about if you add in the rain and a little bit of wind. I don't know. Well, I mean, here's the positive. Here's the positive is that Mariota always overthrows Kyle Pitts. So if he throws in the rain, then technically the ball should be heavier, so he shouldn't overthrow Kyle Pitts. Okay, that's the only positive I can think of. I'm with Connor. I think the running game is what they're going to go with. Carolina, I mean, they're not going to score prolifically against Atlanta, forcing the pass.
I think it's pretty easy. You start DJ Moore. That's the end of the sentence regarding
Correct.
Carolina.
What about Deontay Foreman?
You're right. Start Foreman too.
What if Chuba Hubbard comes back? Because Deontay Foreman did not get any of the pass work. Okay, so if Chuba Hubbard is back, and Chuba Hubbard was also listed as the starter before he got injured, and Deontay Foreman had the breakout game. And the reason why I'm doing the air quotes now is because last game he broke. That wasn't no breakout. Okay, so I'm just asking you. I mean, if Chuba Hubbard's there.
Well, actually, Bombada has Deontay Foreman, so I actively want to believe in the timeline in which he does bad. So I'm gonna agree with what you're saying. Yeah, no, just DJ Moore. That's the only guy we're shooting on.
Yeah, I would say if Chuba Hubbard does not play, then you can go ahead and you can shoot on Deontay Foreman.
No,
I would. This is what I'm saying.
He's gonna do bad.
Okay,
manifest destiny, Brian.
Okay, well, Connor right now is doing witchcraft. Okay, no. I'm trying to give you fantasy. I'm trying to give you fantasy analysis here. Yeah, you are. You're trying to do a spell to will it to happen. Okay, that's
I'm not
witchcraft.
Doing a spell. I would have to at least do a star or
I'm not saying
on something.
Hey, I didn't say it was a good one. I just say it was a bad one. But you're still trying to do it. My point is that
God's will be done, not mine. But please make Foreman do bad so Bombada loses.
That's the approach. That's the approach. Okay, but if Chuba Hubbard does sit, then I think Deontay Foreman is somebody you can shoot on, and it's going to be a wet sloppy game. And the problem with the wet sloppy game is that it increases injuries, and Foreman's already coming back from an injury, and then I know it's been a while ago, but still it's there. It's significant. Also, it increases fumble. All right, so. We'll see how that goes. I would not, if all possible, I would try to steer clear of this just because of the weather. Okay, that's what I would say. Because everybody that we're talking about, I mean, aren't really confident starts. Do you agree with me, Connor?
Yeah.
We're looking at people like, yeah, you can shoot on them, but I would prefer not to. Except for man, Cordell Patterson though, man, he had 44 yards, 2 TDs first game back. It's tough to get away from that guy.
Devin Singletary numbers, man.
2 touchdowns? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
You're really not catching my jokes tonight.
Well, okay. I just tried. I guess I'm focused. I'm button up, man. Today. I'm to the point. I'm trying to give out. Yeah.
Your asshole is tight.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. This is what it's like whenever my wife's not around. This is the man I am. Yeah, this is I am when my wife's not around. Yeah.
King of the castle. You have a chair.
Dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, I have the whole bed. I can sleep in the middle of the bed if I.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can
Anyway.
go all Amber Heard on that shit if you really want
Yeah.
to.
But let me ask you, Connor. Would you shoot on Kyle Pitts because of the weather? I mean,
because it's not good. It's not. He's. I mean, have you started him or have you benched him?
No, I had to start him last week because Freiermuth was on a bye week.
Did you like it?
No, he only gave me 5 points, but the week before,
And your league is juiced,
which is against Carolina, a week before which Carolina, he had 21 points. Okay, yeah, with the juiced league, yeah. So you're probably talking about
go to overtime.
I don't know that answer. I just know that he scored his first touchdown, like in American soil, on that game.
All right, because his only touchdown was like in a British game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why I was asking.
2 touchdowns. He's got 1 touchdown each year. That is not good.
Yeah. But the thing is talking to this is you talking to the kids, Kyle Pitts manager, not necessarily me, to our listeners. All right. So they look at Carolina, and whatever your scoring is on your platform, he scored higher than he has, or something that you're hoping for whenever you drafted him or picked him up or however you obtained him. All right, 2 weeks ago against Carolina. Why would you not shoot on him this week? Same matchup.
I mean, if you had a better option, like you have Freiermuth, so that's like, I mean, I would start Freiermuth over Pitts, but I mean, I would be tempted if I had Pitts right now to start him over like Cole Kmet or even Njoku just because of the ankle. But I would probably just roll with Njoku because, I drafted him, so I feel more emotionally connected to him. I feel like he's my guy. I've never really believed in Kyle Pitts, so I don't have that emotional connection to start him. I mean, he's a good player. They always say tight ends do better, like starting their 3rd year in the league. So, it's kind of one of those give it time things. But this year, it looks like the Falcons are just going to run the ball, and when that happens, what do tight ends do, Bri?
They block.
They block.
And he's been working on his blocking, and he's excited and happy and proud of his blocking. Yeah,
that's great for football, but that's terrible for fantasy football, and that's what we're talking about.
I've read a lot of articles on Kyle Pitts. Yeah, so I'm telling you,
I bet
that guy is so proud of how much his blocking, better his blocking's.
Well, yeah. I remember there's that like iconic like draft where it's like he's a little light in the ass. That's a direct quote.
Mm-hmm.
That's a direct quote.
Yeah.
I'm not paraphrasing.
Yeah. But like the thing is that I had Kyle Pitts in at first. The weather made a big decision on my part. Nice, dude. Look, there's a tropical storm that is coming up that area. That's why I think it's 97. That they're pretty sure is going to be some strong weather in that area. So just keep that changes everything. Because it's going to be a sloppy game. And here's the thing that I've said this last episodes. I'll say it again. That Thursday night footballs, man. That thing, it's such a gamble, because if your player does bad, then you go to the weekend just feeling terrible. You're panicked. You're twisting the whole time for 2 days. You're just in there, okay. And if your player does great, then you're excited, you're happy, but then you're still thinking, oh man, I hope my other players are able to, they're able to do well, and I'm able to capitalize it. So it's almost like the Thursday night football game's a curse. It's always been with me, except for last week. It worked out well. Yeah, I was blessed last week, but other than that, it didn't. So I would stay away from.
Yeah, you snuck a win. You had a pretty competitive game this week.
The only reason why I won, okay, was Derrick Henry. And
good. He won me my game.
And Justin Fields. Yeah, Justin Fields like scoring in our league which is juiced.
71. 78.
78. Yeah, I came 2 points away. Amazing. I've never done that before. So if those 2 things would have happened, then she would have beat me. She didn't even have a defense. So yeah, my wife's constructed a really strong. Lori's really gotten a strong team. Okay, let's go ahead and let's spend the last few minutes to talk about some waiver wire pickups. One of them we've already talked about, Connor.
Jeff Wilson Jr. That's the
Yep.
top one. That's who I'm putting. And you know what? I'm gonna make him my top priority in my auction league, especially since I just traded away Jonathan Taylor. I just got offered a trade.
Yeah, for what was that?
And this guy keeps trying to do this to me. He's trying to offer me Zach Ertz and Chris Godwin for Mark Andrews.
Wow. Well, you got to go with you got to swing for the fences. That would be a no from.
Yeah, that's a no for me too. I feel like I can get more.
But
he has Cooper Kupp. I'm gonna offer him Cooper Kupp for Mark Andrews straight up.
yeah, counter offer. Yeah, do that.
I'm gonna let him know what the line in the sand is.
Yeah, there we go. All right, the next one. Okay, while you're doing that, let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr. All right, we already talked about him. Okay, his rehab's going well. Okay, and so his expectations are for him to return to action in early December. Okay, so that could be a lot harder for him to help fantasy managers. All right, because the new timeline gives him a few weeks to get acquainted with the new team before the fantasy playoffs begin. Excuse me. So if he wants to play for a contending team, he will likely end up on a team with a good quarterback and hopefully a starting opportunity. Okay, that's the whole thing that you need to look for, right? The one of the things I've always heard is that whenever you see situations like this where somebody wants to go to a contender, well, the reason why the team is a contender is because they have good players, which means that could cut down on some targets. So just keep that in mind. All right, but you know what Odell Beckham Jr. does, right? He gained at least 50 receiving yards in all 4 playoff games while scoring 2 touchdowns. So yeah, he might come in and might be a little slow at first, but he'll eventually pick up it. Offense.
Mm-hmm.
What's your next one, Connor?
I mean, besides those two guys, Cole Kmet's another guy if he's on waivers. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna expand this to the Bears offense in general because they are still out there. You know, Darnell Mooney's out there in some leagues. Claypool might be out there in a league. You know, I think those guys are worth picking up. Cole Kmet is probably out there in a league.
Yeah, the only thing, of course, that that you have to glaring that's about the. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I just want to go and throw that out there that Justin Fields hasn't thrown for 200 yards. I don't think this whole season. So he's becoming the man by his legs and opportune throws. But it's not really like where he's chunking it all over the place. You know how like Josh Allen is always throwing, then he runs and throws, runs. Fields is more of a runner. But yeah, I agree with you, especially this deep in the season. If those guys are out there, they're definitely worth putting out flyers. Now, I think Chase Claypool, though, out of the wide receivers, that'd probably be the one that I'd prefer out of all the wide receivers I have, to be honest with you. So if he's out there. Terrence Marshall Jr. Do you know who that is, Connor?
He is a wide receiver for the Panthers.
Yeah. He gained over 50 receiving yards for a second straight game and scored the first touchdown of his career. Okay, he should remain the clear starter in Carolina for the rest of the season. All right, so he had a forgettable rookie season. Okay, but it looks like he's starting to get it together. All right, and the Panthers, they have a top 10 schedule for fantasy wide receivers over the rest of the season and during the fantasy playoff. He's somebody. Here's a name, dude, that I heard thrown around. I want to get your opinion on it. Hayden Hurst.
He's on the Falcons now, right? No, he's on the no. He's on the Bengals now.
Okay, very good.
He's on the Bengals now. He got 5 receptions for 35 yards in last week's blowout game. So that equates to 9 points in our league, which is significantly more. Well, I guess it's a little more because he had maybe I don't know, like a couple first downs, so you get a couple more points for that.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
But it's middle of the pack at best, right?
Yep. Yeah. So
but it's safe. It's a high floor tight end to play.
Yeah, Yeah. He's not gonna lose your. He's not gonna goose egg you. How about that?
Mhm.
He shouldn't goose egg you. All right. So I'm gonna mention anybody else you want to throw out there, or that pretty much.
No, that's it.
Okay, I want to mention out some of these players. I think I have 5 players. Okay, and you tell me if you should cut them or keep them. All right.
All right.
Matthew Stafford,
Cut.
Eno Benjamin,
Cut.
Robert Woods,
Cut.
Guy Moore,
Cut.
Dawson Knox.
Keep.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think that anybody else you think that people. What about Aaron Rodgers?
Cut. I cut.
Wow. Wow.
I think you
How
should cut Josh Reynolds too.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Josh Reynolds, you can put him in your IR. Yeah.
No, he's unquestionable now.
Oh. Well. Yes.
Yeah, no, I have him because I have him, and I'm going to drop him. My number one waiver claim is Jeff Wilson Jr. for Josh Reynolds,
Okay. All
and
right.
I have Jared Goff on my team.
Okay. There was an argument I read about David Njoku, about like selling high on him. Okay. Do you think that's something? That the main argument really was that the Browns faced the Saints and Commanders in week 16 and 17, who have allowed the second fewest and fewest fantasy points to tight end this season. That's looking way too far, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not equating for Watson being back.
Right.
I mean,
well,
because I just like they can say that, I can say, oh, the Browns are going to be like a top like 5 team that targets the tight end, and you're gonna want a piece of that in the playoff week.
sure. Yeah, I've been hearing that, and so I wanted to just kind of mention it because you're a Njoku manager, and you wouldn't be thinking about getting rid of that. Yes. Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. The anyone else you want to talk about, Connor?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. I think that does it for this show, for the Tuesday show. That's right. This is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday show. So yeah, make sure if you enjoyed this content to like and subscribe. Click that bell. We do bi-weekly episodes. We do those sniper episodes, so you can get those. You can get some information there, and also we do shorts. So it's a lot of value. So make sure and do that if you're enjoying it. So on behalf of Connor, the Gut Marshal, and me, your humble host, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, I want to thank you for watching. And it's time for our parting shots, Connor. Got one?
Yeah, I guess don't tilt. And if you have good friends that give good advice, that have your best interest in mind, listen to them, because it's good not to tilt. And sometimes your friends can tell when you're tilting, and they help you out. Sometimes your friends just like to rub salt in your wounds and remind you of things that you just really want to know. I'm messing with you.
I'm doing a show, man.
I'm messing with you. I'm doing my That's listen to your friends, guys, and try not to tilt, because I know you can have like your back up against the wall, and you maybe if you lose 1 or 2 more games, you're out, right? But you could go all the way. You could, and you're not going to get there by giving up. So you at least got to try, and when you're still not going to make it and you play hard, that's cool, man.
Yeah. That's if you're curious, Connor has both Mark Andrews and Allen, so I sensed the panic, and so that's why I reached out and was talking some smooth words to him, because I was going through a panic whenever I had a 3-game losing streak, and he helped me out a little bit. There was a moment there whenever I was like,
I was very encouraging on a week basis.
Yeah. You eventually became.
I went out of my way.
Yeah. You did. So my parting shot is actually a little bit off what Connor was talking about. He was alluding a little bit to it. Is that we're getting close. We're getting close, everybody, to the trade deadlines in everybody's league. Okay, so this is for all the teams that aren't doing well. You are. So just like what Connor was saying, don't give up. All right, by trading away your best assets for pennies on the dollar because you think helping a contending team is the way to go, because why take a good guy down with you, right? This is juicing the league, and it isn't fair practice to others. Right? It doesn't help anybody. Right? It's offensive to the soul and the reason or the meaning for truth. Right? Plus, everybody, fantasy football is strange, where you could catch fire and sneak into the playoffs, especially if your league allows 6 teams to get in. Right? Don't trash trade, and never give up. There you go. That's my parting shot. So with that, help me out with this, Connor. It's gonna be great to finally have somebody say it with me. The last slide. Remember, everybody, in fantasy football, as in life,
Don't dream it, be it.
yeah. All right. Good luck on your games, everybody. Enjoy the week. Yeah, if you had a win, back, chill out, enjoy it. For